Hi, I'm Lynn Perry Parker. I started LPP Law about 7 years ago after working in national law firms, mid-sized law firms, and small law firms for almost 30 years now. I'm doing this because I am a small business now. And like many small businesses, I love what I do, the law. I love analyzing the law. I like knowing the law. I like applying the law and helping my clients avoid problems or deal with their problems as they resolve. I hate the marketing part of being a small business. So I figured this was the best way that I could actually let you know who I am and how I might be able to help you without having to do the kind of traditional types of marketing. So let's start starting from the beginning. What if you want to start your own business? And I generally deal with people who have some level of sophistication in business. Although we do get the hobbyist, and there is a difference between wanting to make money doing your hobby versus being a business, and perhaps that's the distinction in terms of really understanding why you need a lawyer. Business is not easy. Law permeates all aspects of business. So when you want to start your own business, most people know that they don't want to do it as a sole proprietor. There's almost no real business that you want to do as a sole proprietor, but really you want to be in some kind of business entity, whether it's a corporation or a limited liability company. You heard of an LLC. Those are the two major ones. And people often ask me too, well, should I be an S Corp? They've heard an S Corp. And right off the bat, an S Corp is not an entity. It's a tax designation in terms of how the corporation versus you personally are taxed. So let me back up a little bit. The reason that you don't want to be a sole proprietor is because you want your business, as far as the law is concerned, to be completely separate from you as an individual, meaning your liability is completely separate. There's two components to being an entity: the personal liability protection and the tax ramifications. The liability, you get the same protection, assuming that you comply with the laws that are applicable, is a corporation or limited liability company. And then there's the tax implications, which are very different for the two entities. The beauty of a limited liability company, relatively new business structure, is it's extremely flexible. And most people understand that they want to be a limited liability company, but they don't understand why. By talking to me beforehand, before they get into it, even before they file their articles of organization, which is very easy to do. You can become a limited liability company very easily, but it's the why you are a limited liability company and what your obligations are thereafter that is why you want to talk to a lawyer. The whether you want to be a corporation or whether you want to be a limited liability company depends on what you want to do, how many owners there's going to be, whether you're going to have workers, and I distinguish workers from employees versus contractors, and I'll help you with all those. But the reason why I talk to a lawyer is to help you understand what issues you need to know that help decide which is the best format for you. And with the limited liability company, even if you choose that mechanism, because there's flexibility on how you operate, it also has a lot of flexibility in terms of how you're taxed. You can be taxed like a single member, you're a flow through. You can be, if you've got partners, you can be taxed like a partnership. Most people who used to do partnership now do limited liability companies, but that's for when you come talk to me. We'll get more in that detail. Or you can be taxed like a corporation, fully like a corporation, or you can pick an S Corp. An S Corp doesn't really stand for small, but when I was in law school, that's how I remembered what an S Corp was. For all intents and purposes, it's for smaller companies. And it fits very well for many types of businesses, but not all. Again, kind of depends on what you want to do and what your operations and structure and your hiring is going to be. So in general, you need to be an entity. What kind of entity really depends on a lot of factors that I can help you sort out and make a good decision. I hope you found the information that I discussed on these videos helpful. If you would like a written outline of the topics that I discussed, I do have an ebook on my website. My website is lpp-law.com. Phone number is 301-444-4513. I love what I do, and I'd love to help your business. Thanks.